Welcome. Today we're going to be discussing the technique checking the storm, its execution, some of the things that can go wrong with its execution, and ways to compensate or fix those things. So this is for a direct overhead club attack with his right hand from 12 o'clock. As he comes in, first thing I want to do is get out of the line of attack. But I want to get out of the way and establish my base. So there's a couple things that can go wrong here. One of them being I step past 3 o'clock or to my right. So what I mean by that is I start stepping diagonally backwards, which is pulling me away from my attacker, which means that all my power is going away from what I'm trying to do. So the best way to do it would be to go from 3 up. Depending on your height, if you're a lot taller than your opponent, you might be able to get away with 3. Obviously, because of my height, I have to go more towards the diagonal. And again, this is going to be something that you have to do based on your range and your height. But definitely don't go beyond 3. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the hands. So as I get out of the way, I start to reach for the stick to try to block it. This is creating a position recognition for a skilled martial artist with stick, which he's going to take advantage of because I'm leaving a lot of gaps. So the idea of checking the storm is to have a check on the weapon and cover ourselves up. So the idea is I'm covered. So even if he tried to reorbit and find things, he's going to end up hitting the arms, not my ribs or my temple or my jaw or any other of my viable targets. So let's talk about what happens with the foot next. So the next thing I want to do with my foot is obey economy of motion. I don't want to C-step as I deliver the kick. I want to go straight from point of origin to the kick, to the groin. So once again, as I step off to the side, I kick directly. So the next thing that's going to happen here is what's happening when I land. So if you notice right now, I kicked and I landed in my neutral bow. The problem with that is if I haven't dropped his weapon by canceling his lever and making sure that he dropped it with the kick, I'm still exposed, right? He can hit me with the stick and I can't block him because my arms don't go behind me. So the idea here is I want to be facing my work. So once I do the kick, I want to land facing him. And again, my hands are checking the weapon at all times. Also, if you think about your next kick, it takes longer for me now to have to rotate before kicking him than it does once I kick and already eliminated the rotation so that my foot's in line for what he wants to do next. So remember, we're trying to eliminate gaps in time between the technique. It's the same reason when I do my front kick, I don't want to take that C-step because there's a lot of gaps, and that's primarily what's going to make him release the stick, hopefully. So once again, he comes in, I step, I kick, and I land in my twist. So from here is which leg are we going to kick? So if I kick the front leg, the problem with that is I'm going to start in orbit, and again, if you look at my position, this is the same thing we did with the stick on the opposite side. I can't block him behind me, so I want to make sure that I keep him in front of me at all times. So instead of kicking the front leg, we want to go to the back, and I'm using backup mass. So this should go linear, straight into him, eliminating the back hand by canceling his width, and exposing the temple for the back knuckle. The timing for this should be done foot, then the hand. I don't want to try to do these simultaneously because then you start striking with no base, right? So I want to always establish my base, I kick, and as soon as I land, I get the hit. There's no need to add rotation. Again, this will start pulling me away from what I'm trying to strike. I want to go into what I'm doing. And then obviously the next thing would be the cover out. So things that can go wrong here with the cover out is you do your cover out, but you actually haven't created any distance from your opponent. You can still reach me with the stick, you can reach me with his weapons. I want to make sure that I'm creating the proper distance away from my opponent. The next thing that can go wrong with the cover out is I start thinking about the feet and forget about my hands. Remember, this is checking the storm. I want to constantly keep a check on the weapon. So we're going to review it one more time from a different angle. Again, don't step past 3 o'clock depending on your height. Do not reach, keep your hands checking, kick from point of origin, land on your rotation already, keeping a check on the weapon at all times, kick to the back leg, not the front leg. This is all done with backup mass. As I cover out, I'm again keeping a check on the weapons. And then we'll do it a little bit quicker. We hope this video helps you. Thank you very much.